Hello everyone, welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth, here we go. Let's try to talk to Franzi and see if we can just absolve this whole thing right away because this is dumb. But only because we know it's dumb. He doesn't know. What if she has to say, what if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time? Bro, half the shit we've said in this whole case has been a waste of time. Alright, won't be any different from normal. I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl. No! As you wish. Alright, Franzi, you gonna help me out here, darling? Alright, let's see what she has to say. Oh, right, her movements. We're back to talking about that. Movements in Alabast. Alright, tell me everything. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the still samurai on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Okay. Nothing too strange out of that, is there? Franziska, I want to make this very clear from the beginning. What I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in his office, or this office, was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way that I can see us to break out of the situation is to ask Franziska about her testimony in more detail. Alright, press everything. I'm good at that, so I'm gonna do that. Alright, the butts and the movements. Let's do it. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. We know that, but let's press it anyway. I thought your duty was to fact-find anything you could about the smuggling ring. Yes, that was my job. But upon hearing that the Yatigarasu had sent a calling card to the embassy, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy instead. That incident 7 years ago. Or have you forgotten what happened here back then? Nope. We haven't, though. Anything related to that case we were involved in appears to be rather painful for her. It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself. Yeah, really. Huh. It looks like you remember the case after all. Of course I do. I inspected every location, every possible escape route, and every aspect of the police security detail. I did all that. Then after that, after I saw the still samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, tell me a little bit about that. So you were at the theater as well? Yes, and I suppose you were also there as well, watching the stage show? Well, yes, so Franziska was there. Tuh! Well, after the show was over and I saw the still samurai off, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation, okay? Please tell me about that as well. Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation for even the speech? For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? No one knew just how the Yatigarasu had planned on getting in, right? Yes, I suppose you're right. And in the end, the Yatigarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden, even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Ugh, who would have thought that she would use a shadow? She's still mad about that. Oh god, calm down, Franziska. She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself. Well, it's fine. Tuh. Anyway, there was no one in the Rose Garden, and we were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. What happened then? At that time, Damastu's body had yet to be found in this room, is that correct? That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence. Wait, so he was here? The criminal will say anything to get out of being arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'll be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you. When I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill watering his plants. Oh. I can attest to that. I forgot you were here. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. Ugh. Alright then. Add that statement to your testimony, then let's hear some details. So, Ambassador Alba was in this room at the time, was he? Suspicious. When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill. Okay. Anything extra to attach to that? For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill?
What do you mean by that?
The entrance to this room is on this side, however the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Is that not correct?
I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him. But fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall.
What's that mean? Did it move right after?
I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe he was watering his plants, right?
I suppose.
After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself, and is growing them with the utmost care, you know.
Yes. The plants in this room, they're all like my children.
Oh, I like plants too. The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully too. All 4 of them are in full bloom.
Wait, what? What's that? What's strange about that? Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now?
I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand?
What's wrong with that? What do I not understand? I don't understand why a certain thing is the way it is. Like what? We haven't looked at those in a while. What's wrong with them? Flowers. Here they are.
2.
Oh. There's not 4, there's 2. Alright. What does that mean, though? I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony.
Very well.
Oh, so we can get her on the... Okay, I see. So we can present it. There are 4 large passion flowers in full bloom. I'm assuming they want me to present that right now, then. Alright. They made it simple there.
2 large flowers in bloom.
Alright, but what does this mean? Is the thing. Franziska, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence.
It does appear that way.
Ha! I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis.
That doesn't mean anything. It means it probably changed. But why did it change? Mr. Edgeworth! What are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this?
He's gotta have a plan. He always does.
Yes, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away.
Oh, she's whipping him. She knows.
All I've done is state what I saw. I have made not a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am still under suspicion for murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important in this juncture, Miles?
At the very least, it is a contradiction in the enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant.
Ha! Then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove?
I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine the flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. I understand. Alright, are we gonna go over there and look? Oh, yes, we are. Alright. Yeah, there they are. Oh, you can see that the other 2 have been ripped out, look. Alright, well, let's just look at everything. I mean, we obviously want to look at the flowers, but let's look at everything, too. This watering can is a rather robust design.
Mr. Edgeworth, why are you telling us stuff we can clearly see for ourselves? Plus, if you keep wasting time talking about that, Miss Von Karma's gonna get arrested. Sorry, I just wanted to look at everything.
Obviously, they want us to look at the flowers. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they are actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports.
Yeah, no matter how I look at it, it looks like there's only 2 here to me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you.
Ugh. Miles Edgeworth! Hurry up and shut this man up for me already.
You could do that yourself, technically. I suppose I'll need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? Show evidence? Sure, alright, what do we got? Oh, you know what? I believe I have just the piece of evidence you need. Do we?
You do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight. But I highly doubt it'll be last until the end.
You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence.
The truth the passion flowers reveal can be seen in this piece of evidence.
What is it? Wait a minute. Don't these have dirt on them? They have dirt on them. Were these being used? Hey, there's 2 of them. There's some dirt on the tips. You can't really see from the picture behind Miles, but they kinda looks similar? A little bit. Is that it? Sheena, who was supposedly in Babal the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers.
Huh, and so what? Is this really all that important to the case?
Of course it is. It means that we've found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight.
Ah!
Duh! You're right there. Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Sheena's hands, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue.
Ugh. Duh, very well then.
Point.
I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal.
God, that I'm not sure. How did these support sticks find their way to Babal and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there.
Aha! So that's why.
Wait, do you know, Miles? Agent Lang, if you'd please take a look at this thing and tell me its shape.
It's just another stick, isn't it?
And so it is, but the shape of the support sticks is what's important. What about them? For when they're used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. Used with something in this room? Like what? The object that completes the picture when used with the support sticks is... Huh? Spear... Knives... Wait, not the crossbow, right? Is he saying that you could shoot it like an arrow? Really? It seems a little bit strange, doesn't it? But what else would it be? Is that too easy? Well, I'm gonna do it, because I don't have any other idea.
That's a crossbow. What you're not really suggesting...
I am. These hair sticks, or rather, plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. Oh, really? Alright. I would not have thought that, I'm gonna be honest. That's a bit weird. I've done it. I found the common thread that connects the two offices. Oh, I see what he's saying. Wait a minute, though. Even if they shot them over there, what would it accomplish? They're just small. Is he saying that... we're not gonna do another zipline thing, are we? Oh my god. This thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks and arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all these things together. I kind of get what they're going for, but how?
Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right?
They don't fly at all. Yeah, the statue must be way too heavy. I agree with you there. Alright, border crossing part 2.
So Babal's statue is draped and the autograss is closed and shot over? Even if you fire the arrows from the side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to him.
Kind of agree with that.
I don't think I need to tell you that the primitive statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you?
Alright, oh shit, I don't know what to do. I'm pressing everything. The primitive statue didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't.
Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact.
It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. Well, what else? How else would he have gotten the string of wire over there? That's what I'm not sure about. You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. What? The primitive statue flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. With what? I don't understand. Fireplace, wall, wire, fires in the ball, photo. We don't have anything, do we? I must be stupid. Maybe it's gonna lead me there, hopefully. It's not very obvious, at least not to me. So the ball statue is draped in the autograss is closed and then shot over here. Just press it all. But that incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo. What I want to know is, I get it, maybe they shot the wire over there, like I said before, but how did it come back to them? It would have been too heavy.
What an incredible scene it was! This photo was taken by a freelance photojournalist, right?
Yes, so I hear.
And not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not the ones that sell photos of spirits and...
Well, she didn't have time to Photoshop it, if that's what you're implying. Yes, I know what you mean. I've seen those sorts of photos many a time in court. But there have been times when those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. If you had ever stood in a court of law, you would know that it's entirely plausible.
Ah, you really believe the stuff you're spewing right now? A courtroom certainly is a strange place if what you say is true. But there really is something odd about that photo no matter how you look at it.
Even if you fired the arrows from the side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them. I don't understand. I'm trying to think of what was in the other room that it could have anchored to.
But we're in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct?
Just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing.
No, that's not necessarily true.
What?
What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusion, it's the launching of my conclusion. What does that mean? What the shooter wanted to launch the crossbow was not the statue themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move it. What, though? What was in the other room? I don't remember. We don't have a photo of it, do we?
If it wasn't a statue that was tied to the arrows, then what did the crossbow launch?
What did it launch? The thing the crossbow launched? Allow me to show you the answer.
Well, come on then. Show me what you got.
All right, Rick and Morty, I'll do it.
I warn you, I'll know when you're bluffing.
This is what was launched from the Alabastian office with the crossbow.
What? What do we have? Embassy guide, the notes on Cochin's body, the knife, the bills, the paper document, the statue, which it couldn't be.
Passion flowers, the note, the spear,
Samurai dogs, the pick, the spout, the photo, trump card, fires and babal, the wire, the revolving fireplace wall, the arrows. I just don't even know. Wire videotape. What? Was it the fire? The fireplace is the only thing that moves. Can't be that, though. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm overthinking it. What did it launch over? The wire, obviously, is what it was attached to. Is that what they're asking? Maybe I just overthought it. I'm like, this was launched over. Okay, maybe my thought is what they did is they used it, like I said, to anchor to something. But what? So, okay, so we're saying I just overthought it. I thought he was kind of saying, what did it attach to? But I don't think we're there yet. Finally, we have reached the point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. Right, because it was stowed after that into the clock. We remember that part.
I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say.
Alright, right.
You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochin's office.
Yep.
All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy.
But it looks like it was going down, so that would have had the advantage.
Down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alaba's Pyramid statue could have been moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babal's Pyramid statue? That's what I don't understand. How'd they get that over? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going in the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy, up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. How do you explain that?
I don't know. Aha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. You do? Because I don't.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'd sneeze.
Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head.
Motion? What motion?
This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's Primitive statue.
Rotary swinging or bungee.
What?
Rotary swinging.
Okay, let's think. What's in the offices that have any of these things? Swinging motion would be the clock, but I don't think that's strong enough. Bungee action would only work downward the first time. Second time, I don't think so. Rotary. I don't know. Wait a minute. There's ceiling fans in both rooms, right?
Oh, shit! One of them was broken.
That's why I didn't think of it at first. I think the Bob Elise one is the one that's broken, because I think we're standing under the one that's actually still there. That could have done it. If the two statues were transported simultaneously. Oh, I see. Like a, So it wasn't one singular wire, it was a loop. Like a rotary. Yeah.
Simultaneously get real. The statue was collided somewhere along the way.
No, not if you do it a certain way. Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? There you go, a loop. Like a conveyor belt. If you shot an arrow with two ends of wire tied to it, a circular belt could be formed. You see? I see that. Okay.
Langzy says, don't object and call it success what is beyond reasonability.
Reasonability even a word?
Taking into account the tension difference between the two wires, the top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway.
I don't know about that. Agent Lang, as you know, the Primitive statue is one of a kind national treasure. And the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real one, that's it. They're not the same. It would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible.
Langzy says,
Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirator set themselves up in the two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport them. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to Babal where it was to be disposed of. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock, QED. Haha, did you just get whipped by Franzi? You deserved it.
This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer?
Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet.
What is that? Is that Jesus Christ. Franzi, slice him.
Right, Mr. Prosecutor?
What the fuck else do you need? The proof is in the pudding, as it were.
Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir.
That sounds awful. Well, you really made it sound sexual. Good for you. I agree that as long as there's no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there's one more piece of evidence.
One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact? Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor.
The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. I believe that is right here in this very room. It's gotta be the fan. I think this is the only room with one. I believe this is what made the circular belt transportation method possible. It must be this. Okay.
Ha! Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again.
The last piece to the trick are two pulleys.
Precisely. The ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there's one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fan's made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypassed the impenetrable security.
Ha! You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor.
Thanks.
I bet you figured it out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up the real-life stage show is, don't you?
The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Barbali's offices. Oh. Yeah, it's looking bad for a certain someone, isn't it? And that the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case. Are we gonna do it right now?
Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food.
Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do?
A single point of the finger here and this case will explode into an international incident. It is him, isn't it? Uh-oh. But he's saying that we can't do that right now. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in. Are we going to? There is a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind is. Are we saying that it's Alba?
Is that what we're saying now? If that's the case, what do we have? What do we have that belongs to him? God, we still have all this shit, too. We have the flowers. Alba takes great care in growing them. And the sticks that came from them. They're actually... Oh, they're actually not... They are actual arrows. They were... Oh, that's why they look different. They were arrows that were placed there. Wait a minute. Okay, think about this. If these were actually arrows that he placed in them, the plants would have needed some time to grow on them. Now, it wouldn't have been an... Really? It wouldn't have been an instant thing? Is that how they're saying that he would know about this from before and it was planned? Oh, I'm gonna do it, but I don't know if it's right. The smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so I knew it. That Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited the room today. Oh shit, this was meditated a long time ago. A long time ago. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both officers had ceiling fans tells us that the person had very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I'm accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Here it comes. Thus it can only be you, Cursus Alba. Oh shit, they just dropped the big bomb. What's gonna happen? You're right. Sorry there, Gandalf, but it's looking bad for you. Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there is one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. What is it? Think. What did they swap back and forth? The statues. Why? Was he trying to get his hands on it? It was a fake, but it was swapped with the real one. It was swapped with the real one. Was he trying to get his hands on this? Used to be real, but has been swapped with a fake from Babal. It was used as a weapon. This has gotta be it. This has to be.
Take that.
Oh, shit. I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Primity statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. I think we know. And who better to ask for that reason than King Primadoo himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. Oh, you done fucked up, Gandalf. You done fucked up. Oh. Okay, let's examine it. Oh, okay, we've already got that. We've seen that. Is there anywhere... Oh, there was another examine. Let's zoom in. Where else was the examine part? There was the bottom, which we've already done. What's this? Examine the top?
This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador.
I suppose that's possible. What? Look at this area around the base of his neck. It looks like a gap. Where? I don't see.
Hey, you're right. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret.
Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What?
Hurry up and open it, Miles.
Alright, here goes. What?
Wow, it really did open up. Hey, what's this thing that fell out?
I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. Oh my god, you know what this might be? Doesn't it look like... What in the... Is this... That's what we've been missing. Counterfeit bills. Isn't that what that looks like? Money. Hey, is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit Oh my goodness me. That's why I needed it. Somehow it appears that we've long last arrived. At the exit to this complex labyrinth, We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates. Yo! And the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabas to begin with. Oh shit, we finally found it. I didn't think we were actually going to. Holy crap! The Prima D statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat. And the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. Oh no. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Sheena, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask too. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damask II and killed him. Then, in order to frame the still samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba, Jessica Alba, how could you do this? You're the leader of the smuggling ring? My country's a mess. And it's all because of you?
You're the one who killed Damask too?
Answer us. What you gonna say, boy? I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. Oh shit!
He's admitting it.
However, there was one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin. Is it? Wait a minute. Quit screwing around. Quite screwing around, actually. You're screwing around too much. Okay, Kaito, we got it. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt onto a dead man. If there is one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real ringleader, Kersis Alba. It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang. Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is a result of logic and investigation. Logic and investigation? Only seconds ago you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flippy-floppy logic any real weight, do you? Huh. Don't sweat, we got this. It's alright. What's so funny? We'll have to find out in the next one. I hate doing this, but we're gonna do it. Oh, shoot. Things are about to get real, I feel. Well, this is crazy, and I didn't see any of it coming. I love it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, and I'll see you soon in the next episode. Toodaloo.